They flew on as if they were the only people in the world, the sole survivors. White noise buzzed in Nadia's ear. White noise buzzed in Nadia's ear. Something to do with the plane's ventilation, no doubt. She checked the ventilators, but they were okay. The others gave her chores to do. Let her go on walks by herself before takeoff and after landing. They were stunned themselves by what they had found at Kar and Korolyov, and unable to bring much to the effort of cheering her up, which she found a relief. Anne and Simon were still worried about Peter. Yelly and Sax were worried about their food supplies, dropping all the time. The plane's cabinets were nearly bare. But Arkady was dead, and so none of that mattered. The revolt seemed to Nadia more a waste than ever, an unfocused spasm of rage. The ultimate cutting off one's nose to spite one's face. The whole world wrecked. She told the others to send out a radio message on one of the general channels, announcing that Arkady was dead. Sasha agreed and helped convince the others to do it. It will help stop things more quickly, Sasha said. Sax shook his head. Insurrections don't have leaders, he said. Besides, no one is likely to hear it. But a couple days later, it was clear some people had heard it. They received a microburst in response from Alex Zalin. Look, Sax, this isn't the American Revolution, or the French, or the Russian, or the English. It's all the revolutions at once, and everywhere. A whole world in revolt, with a land area that is equal to Earth's, and only a few thousand people trying to stop it. And most of those are still in space, where they have a good view, but they are very vulnerable. So, if they manage to subdue a force in Syrtis, there's another in Hellespontus. Imagine space-based forces trying to stop a revolution in Cambodia, but also in Alaska, Japan, Spain, Madagascar. How do you do it? You can't. I only wish that Arkady Nikolaevich had been alive to see it. He would have. The microburst ended abruptly. Perhaps a bad sign. Perhaps not. But even Alex hadn't been able to keep a note of discouragement out of his voice when he talked about Arkady. It was impossible. Arkady had been so much more than a political leader. Everybody's brother. A natural force. The voice of one's conscience. One's innate sense of what was fair and just. One's best friend. Nadia stumped through her grief, helping to navigate their flights by night, sleeping as much as she could through the days. She lost weight, her hair, and a gentle lover. Gentle but strong. Thank you, Aurora. I need some fucking comic relief. Nadia stumped through her grief, helping to navigate their flights by night, sleeping as much as she could through the days. She lost weight. Her hair turned pure white, all the remaining gray and black hairs coming out in her brush. She found it hard to speak. It felt like her throat and guts had been petrified. She was a stone. It was impossible to weep. She went about her business instead. Dude, we thought she was sad before. Oh my god, this is devastating, bro. Frank's gonna be the only one who lives, dude. It's gonna be Frank and Sax. I'm fine. This is fine. We'll get through this, chat. It felt like her throat and guts had petrified. She was a stone. It was impossible to weep. She went about her business instead. No one they met had any food to spare, and they were running out themselves. They set a strict rationing schedule, dividing meals in half. And on the 32nd day of their journey from Auschwitz, a journey of some 10,000 kilometers, they came to Cairo, up on the southern rim of Noctis Labyrinthus, just to the south of the southernmost strand of the fallen cable. Cairo was under the de facto control of UNOMA. Cairo was under the de facto control of UNOMA, in that no one in the city had ever claimed otherwise. And like all of the rest of the big tent cities, it lay helpless under the orbiting lasers of UNOMA police ships, which had burned into orbit sometime in the last month. Also, most of the inhabitants of Cairo at the beginning of the war had been Arab and Swiss. And in Cairo, at least, people of both nationalities seemed only to be trying to stay out of harm's way. Now, however, the 6 travelers were not the only refugees arriving. A flood of them had just come down Tharsis from the devastation in Sheffield and the rest of Pavonis. Others were driving up from Marineris through the maze of Noctis. The city was at quadruple capacity, with crowds living and sleeping in the streets and parks. The physical plant strained to the breaking point, and food and gases running out. The 6 travelers were told this by an airstrip worker who was still stubbornly doing her job. After guiding them into the parking places among a great fleet of planes at one end of the strip, she told them to suit up and walk the kilometer to the city itself. Or, sorry, she told them to suit up and walk the kilometer to the city wall. It made Nadia unreasonably nervous to leave the two 16Ds behind and walk into a city. And she was not reassured once through the lock, when she saw that most people inside were wearing their walkers and carrying their helmets with them. I laughed, but it's like not funny. Everyone inside was wearing their walkers, carrying their helmets with them, ready for depressurization if it came. They went to the city offices and there found Frank and Maya, as well as Mary Dunkel and Spencer Jackson. They all greeted each other with relief, but there was no time for catching up on their various adventures. All right, yeah, good night. I probably should cut this short a little bit soon because it's fucking Christmas Eve now. I'll finish up in a minute. Also, but leave, because I won't be done soon enough. But have a good night, everybody. God bless you all. God bless America, and Merry Christmas. And I have to pee again, actually. I'll be back. I'm so sorry.